Welcome back. Did you know National Animal Rights Day is coming up this weekend? It's an opportunity to learn more about the alternatives to the current treatment of animals. Dr. Faraz Harsini is a biomedical and food systems scientist. He's also the founder of Allied Scholars for Animal Protection. He's here to tell us more. Dr. Harsini, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Tell us a little bit about your background, how you got involved with, going vegan.
Yeah, first my friend said, hey, Faraz, you can't say you love animals and eat them too. And I was like, ouch. But when I really looked at the cruelty behind the scenes, I was like, she has a point. But also my research, I looked at cancer, pandemics, antibiotic resistance. So I really realized that a lot of major global issues come back to the food that we are eating. So I know that statistically, logically, rationally, ethically, the best thing we can do is to be vegan and promote veganism and protect animals. It saves a lot of suffering from people and also animals of other species.
Okay, yeah, I know that you brought some really interesting facts for us today. And so just, for coverage for us, it's just really interesting to hear from someone who's so involved with this movement. I'd like to hear about National Animal Rights Day coming up this weekend. What's the idea behind the actual day?
Yeah, good question. The idea is something like Memorial Day. So we're gonna remember over 1 trillion sentient beings who have to be wrongfully killed every single year. And it doesn't have to be that way. And I think animal cruelty is so normalized in our society today. If I ask people, do you like animals? Do you care about animals?
You're gonna hear yes.
Are you against animal cruelty? Have you seen footage of slaughterhouses? Everyone says, yes, that's not good. I investigated actually slaughterhouses and dairy farms in Texas. It's not pretty, and everybody knows that. Somehow, when we sit down to eat, we all forget about that. And this is an opportunity to start talking, having these discussions. Something that a lot of people don't realize is like meat, egg, and dairy, they cause a lot of suffering, needless suffering to animals. Like in dairy industry, I was embarrassingly old when I learned that cows are mammals, just like us. They have to be pregnant in order to produce milk. So in dairy businesses, doesn't matter if it's small or large, they have to keep them pregnant, remove their babies. If the babies are male, they're not profitable. So they send them to slaughterhouse. And mothers, we literally just exploit their sexual organ over and over and over. And the second they're not profitable, then we kill them. So it's just not nice. Same thing happens in egg industry. Male chickens are killed. Female ones are also killed at the end of the day. So I think it's just so normalized. At the end of the day, I know that deep inside people are compassionate. They don't want cruelty. When they see it, they're disgusted. So we want to have this conversation. If there is a way that we can feed the world with tasty, healthy, sustainable, affordable food without the animal cruelty, then why not?
Sure, yeah, and I think so many of us are removed from our food cycle. So that's, I think, a reason for the portion of the disconnect. Let's talk about some of the positive outcomes of animal protection that aren't just about eating healthy, because I was surprised by some of these.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most obvious positive outcome of being plant-based and being a vegan is that these animals, they no longer have to be exploited and abused because of us. And the second best thing is that we finally get to align our actions with our values. So I grew up eating meat, egg, dairy, just like most other people, and I liked it. Until my friend told me, Faraz, you can't, come on, what is happening? So when I finally aligned my actions with my values, that's the best feeling in the world. So you stop being a hypocrite, you're just feeling so great about it. But I would also say, here are some examples. In Austin, at UT Austin, we work with the university and they have a fully dedicated vegan station. And so I love what they do and students love it. 50% of food that UT Austin serves to students now is already plant-based. There is nori. They give you vegan sushi, so you get your sushi. There is Rebel cheese. It's literally like a vegan cheese factory and 50 types of different cheese. So you get your cheese. In New York City, the public hospitals are serving plant-based food by default. Here in the heart of Texas at UNT, University of North Texas, there is a fully vegan dining hall and students love it, right? So right now, any coffee shop you go, you get alternatives to dairy milk that is cruelty-free, right? So options are all around us, and the reason for that is just, people are taking the right step and taking, responsibility and just doing better. And that's why we see all these positive outcomes.
Well, and for people who align with your values, I kind of think that there's from time to time this feeling of, am I going to make a difference? Just me? What can a single person do?
That's a great question. I think absolutely you can make an impact. When we have a systemic problem, what causes systemic problem? Individuals are a part of it, right? So we have the power to change the system. And I think, like I said, like animal cruelty is so normalized that by being a vegan, you can actually educate other people and motivate them to do better. It's not people, I'm not special. I always loved animals, right? I think most people are just like me. It's like I got to see the cruelty and I changed, and I think everyone can change. I know hunters and I know animal farmers who change, so everybody can change. But absolutely every single individual can make a huge impact.
Well, and you can work with the sanctuary, right? You can buy what are known to be vegan, cruelty-free makeup brands, for example. There are a lot more pieces of information out there than there have been before.
You were just telling me that your belt is like, faux leather, so that's perfect, And supporting Sanctuary. In Austin, near Austin, we have Austin Farm Sanctuary, and then there is Rowdy Girl Sanctuary, where people can go. They're always asking for volunteers, and you can actually interact with these farm animals who are rescued from terrible environments, from like slaughterhouses a lot of times. And people get to see that these animals are really no different than the dogs and other animals that we really love, They all feel pain and suffering, and they all want to be free.
Gotcha, and they're lovable. They're, you can name them, they're your pets. Let's talk about how folks can get involved, how they can support y'all, because we've got that National Day coming up. You've actually had it proclaimed in the city of Austin as a National Day. So how can people support you?
Absolutely, they can go to the event. If they want to support my nonprofit, Allied Scholars for Animal Protection, you can go to our website, alliedscholars.org, and support us. We're always looking for supporters and volunteers and students. We have chapters at UT Austin, at Texas A&M, at UNT, Harvard, MIT, many places. If you are passionate about doing something good for the environment, for animals, for yourself, that's a great way to go.
Dr. Harcini, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.